For this review of Jurassic World, I decided not to get a costume like my previous videos, because there's only one thing that instantly makes you think about Jurassic World. Hey! Let's review. After the box office results of Jurassic Park 3 showing the studio that there was less and less public interest in the Jurassic Park franchise, it laid still and dead for a while until its fossils were dig backed up 14 years later, genetically modified, creating Jurassic World. We'd get a rising up-and-coming star like Chris Pratt in the main lead. We're set in a world now where the park is actually open to the public, and financially, while the new series has been proven to be very successful, some Jurassic Park fans have debated very much whether this new series is at all worth it, or if it's just an insult to the series that came before. I think it'll be hard to answer that question until we see Jurassic World Dominion, so for now, stick your hand out, do the pose, and let's hit play with Jurassic World from 2015. So with the opening of Jurassic World, we already start to get the feeling that this ain't your grandpappy's Jurassic Park. They drop a tradition that's been happening with the past 3 movies and not have an opening kill. Instead, we're treated to a couple of velociraptor eggs hatching while we cut to a clever shot of a bird pretending to be a dinosaur. But thankfully, director Colin Trevorrow decided to still stick with some things that make Jurassic Park feel like Jurassic Park, and that's introducing us to the childlike sense of wonder for this movie, Zach and Gray. And I'll just say up top now, so you're not left wondering throughout the rest of this video, I am someone who has a soft spot for the new Jurassic World movies. In fact, I really like what they did with this first entry. I think they actually were headed in the right direction, had a brilliant idea of showing a world where the park was actually functioning and opening, and it's amazing to see that, but there are so many crucial moments and risks that this movie takes that make it hard to be 100% on board with everything they want to do. And one of those things was the relationship and the dynamic of the two brothers. Because as we'll come to find out, their parents are actually going through a divorce, and them traveling to the park to see their Aunt Claire is there so the parents can settle their affairs with the divorce lawyers. And that to me will be one of the biggest downgrading factors of the Jurassic World series, too many complex ideas. I don't think the whole parents getting divorced in the background and us cutting back to that story plot point was as interesting as seeing this park open, diving into the details of how everyday life works, the security measures, how they made this possible. That's the kind of stuff we really want to see. I think the movie should have kept it as simple as these two brothers are just growing apart. One is now interested in girls while the other one is still young and excited by dinosaurs. And with the brother coming close to leaving for college, this trip kind of helps rekindle their relationship and grow a brotherly bond, while the divorce subplot just seems so extra, especially since it looks like these characters are never going to return, even with their connection to one of the leading stars of the series. But speaking of one of the leading stars, we cut over now to Bryce Dallas Howard's character of Claire, who's a higher up in charge of the park, where they mention some things that is basically talking straight to Jurassic Park fans.
No one's impressed by a dinosaur anymore. Consumers want them bigger, louder, more teeth.
That's the kind of stuff I do love about this movie, how clever and meta they get with it, because it's true. The magic of the dinosaurs are gone for us. We saw what they did in that first movie and it was magical then, but now all these sequels later and continuous CGI dinosaurs, it's worn off and we're just not excited by seeing a T-Rex continuing to go after people. And the way this movie uses that as an actual story point to be able to create a new big bad monster is extremely clever, and I think the movie does not get enough credit for that. Here's we're introduced to one of the financial advisors responsible for the park being built, and to me it feels like he's trying too hard to come off humble and sweet like John Hammond was.
Are the guests having fun? Are the animals enjoying life? Key to a happy life is to accept you are never actually in control. You should spend a day at the beach, get some sun.
Some of the costs.
Enough about cost. Spare no expense.
Claire is riding with him to show off their latest attraction, the Indominus Rex, their new big bad dinosaur that's supposed to attract newcomers. And I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it for you guys, I freaking love the Indominus Rex. This dinosaur is very close to being my favorite dinosaur out of the entire series. But Chris, what about the T-Rex, the Velociraptor? That's another nitpick I have with the Jurassic World series and kind of Jurassic Park a little. The Velociraptors and T-Rexes are now basically turned into good guys. You'll see that here very much in the finale of the movie whenever they bring back the T-Rex, and sequences in the next movie where the T-Rex will save people and then just walk away, leaving them unharmed. These two iconic dinosaurs are basically treated as non-threatening entities, so I rarely ever fear them when they show up on screen. If anything, I'm supposed to feel safe when they show up. Again, I'm supposed to feel safe when a T-Rex and a Velociraptor now show up on screen. But what Jurassic World did with the Indominus Rex, oh man, I get chills, goosebumps with the way they start describing this thing.
There was a sibling in case this one didn't survive infancy.
Where's the sibling?
She ate it.
Blood's not clotted yet.
That's her tracking implant. She clawed it out. Evacuate the island. You made a genetic hybrid, raised it in captivity. She is seeing all of this for the first time. She will kill everything that moves.
This Frankenstein of a monster that is honestly misunderstood. She didn't ask to be created and is just forced into this world. In a weird way, I feel sympathy for the Indominus Rex, but I'm also so scared of it. I just like when a Jurassic Park movie has a big bad dinosaur that is chasing our heroes down the entire movie, and Jurassic World does it the best, because the Indominus Rex is the main villain from the very beginning of the movie all the way to its end. Plus all the crazy abilities it's given, like being able to decrease its thermal heat, camouflage in its environment, even ripping out its implant. Just, I really love the Indominus Rex, and I'm also pissed they never made a Funko Pop out of it. But because of the danger that is the Indominus Rex, Claire is asked to go talk to Owen Grady to get an expert's opinion on it. And I don't know what's happened lately, but the world has kind of turned on Chris Pratt, or at least a chunk of people have. Maybe people don't like that he's voicing every popular animated character from Mario to Garfield, or they just don't find him as charming as he used to be, but I was alive and around when this movie came out. Everybody was praising and loving on Chris Pratt's character, and I'm gonna continue to do that here, because I think he's great as Owen Grady. He's a really likable character that does come off strong, intelligent, and is completely believable in the ridiculous direction of being able to train velociraptors. And since we're talking about that, let's dive into it. Look, I'm on the fence with this whole training velociraptors. For one, I actually think one of the best sentimental parts of the Jurassic World series is the relationship Owen Grady has with Blue.
Blue? This one's for you.
It's actually very sweet and genuine, and kind of makes me forgive the series for now turning velociraptors into essentially these good guys. It does rub me the wrong way in some ways though, because the entire series has been about fearing the velociraptors, showing off how intelligent and scary they are, and the movie turning them into trainable animals takes away from years of making these creatures scary on screen. I think it'd be the same if in the next Alien reboot they made the xenomorphs trainable and took orders from humans. But again, I'm gonna let it slide a little bit, because as the movie continues on, they do a better job with showing that the velociraptors aren't 100% under control of humans, that they can still be wild, crazy animals. It's just the idea that Jurassic World has of wanting to weaponize dinosaurs. Oh, I hate that so much. That is like my go-to nitpick annoyance with Jurassic World. Why are we trying to weaponize dinosaurs?
Imagine if we had these puppies in Tora Bora.
So that part to me has always made absolutely no sense, and it kind of makes me hate Vincent D'Onofrio's character for being so set on the idea, thinking, this is great, this is gonna change the world. Don't you embarrass me in front of Vanessa. But once the Indominus is let loose, it just becomes a fun, suspenseful thrill ride that just builds and builds till its finale. Seeing how much destruction this one dinosaur makes and how it's basically able to just collapse an entire park makes this movie so much fun and lets me slide some of those nitpicks I've been having. And here's kind of where I want to mention just some random things about this movie I really like. One, Jake Johnson's character, really funny. Wished he was in more of the sequels and a main character throughout the series, but from my understanding there was just always scheduling conflicts, so he couldn't be part of the following sequels. I know people complain about the look of the park and how dorky and geeky it feels, but I'm like, have none of you actually gone to a theme park? This is exactly what they feel like. The Jimmy Fallon scene gets so much hate when it's like, theme parks are filled with corny, cheesy videos like this that are meant for kids. Something that a lot of people were dreading with this one also is the CGI. It's really expensive nowadays to build actual animatronics, some that are over 30 feet high, weigh tons of pounds, and have mechanical issues. Of no doubt they were going to go ahead and use CGI, and for the most part, it looks really good. I think years of making these dinosaur models has worked in their benefit. And furthermore, I like Bryce Dallas Howard in here. The way she says run is just so iconic and gives me goosebumps. When we get to the scene with the dinosaurs actually being let loose on the entirety of the park, I wish the movie would have focused on that a little bit more. I would have loved to have seen more than just these flying dinosaurs attacking people. Have some velociraptors there, some meat eaters. This scene was cool, but it was so short-lived. I would have liked to have seen an entire park of people be in so much danger instead of using it all to brutalize this one assistant that did nothing. I don't know what that woman did, but she didn't deserve all that. And lastly, before we get to the big final battle, this whole sequence involving Chris Pratt riding a motorcycle with the Velociraptors having
frickin' laser beams attached to their heads.
This is something that maybe sounded cool on paper, in writing, on the script, but then actually seeing it play out, I feel like this just doesn't feel like Jurassic Park. This feels like it should have been another franchise entirely, where you're weaponizing dinosaurs, running alongside them. I'm happy if you're someone who thinks this scene is cool, but to me it's always felt kind of out of place, and one of the things I just wish wasn't included in this series. Bringing us though to the big ending of the movie, our characters left alone in the park versus the Indominus Rex, having a great idea for how to battle her. As much as I might dislike that the T-Rex and Velociraptors are now good guys, this was a great utilization of the T-Rex and was such a nostalgic trip knowing that this is supposed to be the same dinosaur from the original movie. This is how you do a big dinosaur finale, and it's also so poetic because you're basically doing original Jurassic Park versus new age Jurassic Park. That's the metaphor of this battle here, and in the end, the OG wins because you don't mess with the original. Side note, I don't know why, I always laugh at this scene. Just that little jiggly walk the Velociraptors have make me laugh. So when it comes down to it, I'm not as big of a hater on the Jurassic World series as a lot of people, but there are a lot of things I wish the series did differently and didn't focus so much on the weaponizing of dinosaurs, the turning of old dinosaurs into the series into heroes now. I think there are so many interesting directions you could have taken the franchise with the genetic capabilities and cloning of these dinosaurs, and the second movie will definitely expand way further on them. Oh, and that's gonna be the most controversial of all. Let me know what you guys think of Jurassic World. It's still one I really enjoy and have it much higher up on my list than you probably think. But I'm curious to hear what you guys love that the series introduced, what they should have focused on, and maybe what you don't love and what you think they should have gotten rid of. But as always, my name's Chris. Take care.